James Cook, a British explorer and navigator, undertook three monumental voyages in the 18th century that forever changed the world's understanding of geography. His expeditions, from 1768 to 1779, took him across the Pacific Ocean, mapping uncharted territories, discovering new lands, and contributing significantly to scientific knowledge. Cook's meticulous charting of coastlines, islands, and ocean currents laid the foundation for future exploration. This intricately detailed German map showcases Southeast Asia, the Philippines, Australia, Polynesia, and the surrounding waters during the late 18th century. Despite the density of islands and toponyms represented on the map, numerous coastlines remain unfinished and uncharted, including Papua New Guinea, New Britain, New Georgia, New Caledonia, and Australia itself. The map acknowledges the Louisiade archipelago, possibly cited earlier by Chinese and Malay sailors but officially documented by Louis-Antoine de Bougainville in 1768. Incorporating the findings from all three of Captain Cook's voyages, the map presents a comprehensive outline of New Zealand, the east coast of Australia. The depiction of Australia's outline is a blend of Dutch encounters, the toponyms from Cook's initial voyage, and the discoveries made by the nascent penal colony near Port Jackson in Botany Bay. The continent is labeled as New Holland, paying homage to Dutch explorations and Ulimaroa. The latter term, mistakenly derived from a Maori word mentioned in Hawkesworth's account of Cook's first voyage, actually refers to Grand Terror, the largest island of New Caledonia. The Dutch encounter with Australia is explored, recounting how Dutch ships, following the Brewer route to Jakarta, unintentionally encountered the Australian coast due to imprecise longitude calculations. The Eendracht in 1616, commanded by Dirk Hartog, made the first recorded European landing on the western coast of Australia, marked on the map with Dirk Hartog's Island and Eintracht's Land in Techt 1615. The crew commemorated their discovery by erecting a post with a pewter dish inscribed with their ship's information, providing historians with the earliest physical record of a European landing in Australia. The Dutch inscription is translated as 1616, 25th October, as here arrived the ship the Eendracht of Amsterdam. The upper merchant Gillis Me Bays of Liege, skipper Dirk Haddich, also known as Dirk Hartog, of Amsterdam. The 27th ditto set sail again for Bantam, the under merchant Jan Stens. The upper steersman Peter Dux van Bill, anno 1616. During the 1620s, various expeditions either observed or landed in Western Australia. This includes Gerrit Frederikses de Wit's 1628 map incorrectly labeled as 1616 de Leeuwen's 1622 journey to Loensland and Peter Neuwit's exploration along the southern coast in 1627, erroneously marked as 1727. By the 1640s, officials from the VOC were keen on uncovering the extent of the southern lands and assessing their potential for valuable resources or trade partners. Abel Tasman was appointed to address these inquiries. His 1642-43 voyage marked the first circumnavigation of the entire Australasia region, dispelling the notion of a mythical southern continent. Tasman surveyed the south coast of Tasmania, naming it Van Diemen's Land after the VOC governor of Batavia. He also explored the western coast of New Zealand, Tonga, and the Fiji archipelagos. Despite its significance in geography, the VOC found Tasman's voyage disappointing as it did not yield new commercial opportunities. Tasman's second journey was even less successful. Intended to find a passage south of New Guinea to the east coast of Australia, he mistook it for a bay instead of a strait. However, this expedition contributed to a more comprehensive mapping of Australia's northern coastline, which had only been partially explored before. Earlier information about the north coast, particularly in what is now Queensland, Australia, came from the 1605 to 1606 voyages of the Dutch vessel Duyfken, led by Willem Janszoon. The Duyfken explored the eastern shore of the Gulf of Carpentaria, just below the Cape York Peninsula, marking the first recorded European contact with Australia. Additionally, there was an erroneous reference to the Arnhem sighting the northern coast in 1623 misdated as 1618. It wasn't for another 120 years later that James Cook's first voyage took place and ventured into the Pacific Ocean. This is the first map of Hawaii, originally published with the official account of James Cook's third voyage. The primary map displays the Sandwich Islands, a name bestowed upon the archipelago by Captain Cook in honor of John Montagu, the 4th Earl of Sandwich. Montagu held the position of First Lord of the Admiralty during Cook's voyages. The Hawaiian Islands are depicted with elevation points marked by hachures, using English transliterations of their Hawaiian names. Cook's ship courses, the Resolution and Discovery, zigzag around the islands, with a dotted line indicating their first exploration in February 1778, the initial European ships to do so. A solid line denotes their return later that year. An inset of Kealakekua Bay known as Karakakua is nestled in the corner, showcasing the harbor and long-settled Kona coast area. This bay is significant as Cook's ship first landed there, and it's where he ultimately met his demise. The inset provides anchorages, sounding depths, and additional details notated on the larger map. While often attributed to Cook, the map's preparation for the official account was undertaken by Henry Roberts, a master's mate. William Bligh, famed for the HMS Bounty, claimed to have conducted the original survey later copied by Roberts. The map's authorship remains a mystery, likely a collaborative effort involving Cook, Roberts, and Bligh. Featured in the official account of the third voyage, published 4 years after the ship's return, the map served as a basis for Hawaiian maps well into the 19th century. Alexander Hogg, the map's publisher, should not be confused with the Hogg who sailed with Cook. Cook's third voyage from 1776 to 1780 focused on searching for the Northwest Passage, and it included the return of Mai, the first Polynesian visitor to Britain from Cook's second voyage. The journey covered significant territories, encounters with indigenous peoples. In Kealakekua Bay, the Hawaiians warmly welcomed Cook, and the crew enjoyed 3 weeks of considerable hospitality. However, when the ships embarked on another northern tour in early February, a few days from Hawaii, the Resolution's mast sustained damage, necessitating a return. This time, the return was met without the previous warm reception. A dispute over a stolen boat escalated into a scuffle, resulting in the tragic deaths of 16 Hawaiians, 4 Marines, and Cook. In the aftermath, Charles Clerk assumed command and compelled the Hawaiians to surrender Cook's remains, which were then buried at sea. But if you look at the painting, you will notice that around 30 of Cook's crew are either shooting at the crowd of Hawaiians or are getting ready to, and at the same time you have both of the ships blasting their ship's cannons at the crowd of people, but only 16 Hawaiians died.